rough night for your team in Leopold last night in conference action as you fall to a very hungry Perry Central club that snapped a 7-game skid. But again, one of those situations, just like in the Valley game over in that holiday tourney, where your team got down early but found a way to get themselves back into it.
Yeah, we had some kids step up and play with some toughness, and they didn't quit. I mean, you got to give the kids credit. They don't give up, so they kept battling, and a few breaks here or there, and we find a way to win that game. But it's just, when you dig a hole, it's sometimes hard to dig ourselves out of it, and you need some breaks sometimes, and we just couldn't catch a break.
Couldn't catch one on the offensive end at least. Couldn't get a lot of shots to go down. Again, having some good looks, but some turnovers caused some problems for you. 7 in that second quarter led to just 3 field goals, and you found yourself going into the locker room down 30-23. Talk to me a little bit. Take us back to the locker room and what the message was to the guys for the second half.
Well, we felt like we weren't in bad shape. I mean, we certainly felt like we could, being down 7, we could still get back in it and come from behind and win the game. But we also talked about we were really, and being a young team, we got focused on some things we couldn't control, and we just tried to talk about focusing on the things that we could control, with our play, and understanding that sometimes things don't go the way you want them to go. You don't get the breaks or the calls that you think should happen, and that's just basketball. But we had to pick our effort level up, and we were playing soft. I mean, we played soft the first half. We were on our heels, and they took it to us, and they did what kind of a veteran team does. They took it to us, and we talked about not being on our heels and taking the fight to them, and I think the second half we did a better job of that.
Absolutely. As you come out in the third quarter, and although you found yourselves down by as many as 10, 39-29, you're able to finish the period on an 8-2 run and set yourself up for a possible chance to redeem yourselves again in the fourth quarter, going in just down 4. But in that fourth quarter, Perry Central finds a way to grind it out, especially at the free throw line. And I know that's got to be a rub for any coach when you're on the road and the home team shooting 18-22 from the line in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, they made more free. We talk about that rule all the time: make more free throws than your opponent attempts. They made more in the fourth quarter than we attempted the whole game. So, I mean, it's hard to win that way. That one quarter in itself, makes it difficult in a comeback situation. But, give them credit. They stepped up. They still had to make those free throws, and they stepped up and made 18-22, and that's really good. They didn't give us a lot of opportunities off of missed free throws, and a few times they did, we were able to take advantage of, but we just didn't have a lot of opportunities. We just, like I said, we needed to catch some breaks, and we couldn't get that done.
Coach, I felt like for the most part, a guy like Nick Mars, who hadn't seen action since December 16th in that game against Borden in the Washington County Holiday Tourney, I thought he'd come in and come back into the lineup and gave you some pretty good energy on both ends of the floor. Ended up with 11 points on the night. Just assess where he's at coming off of illness.
Yeah, I thought Nick played well. He's playing like a senior. He's being pretty assertive, and that's the thing. I mean, we haven't been able to have a full roster and keep our we're always missing at least one regular, it seems like, and I hate that. Like, we're out without Cam last night and again tonight, due to illness, and I hate that for Cam, because I thought he played really well at over at Valley, and on the Friday games, the doubleheader there. I thought he really played assertive and played like we'd like to see a senior step up and play, and he had a great week of practice, and then he gets sick. So hopefully he'll get back, and he and Nick can, the rest of the way can stay healthy, and we need them stepping up and playing like seniors. There are only 2 seniors, and they have some experience that they brought into the season, and we need them to step up and play, like it's their last go-round, because it is, and we want them to play aggressive and assertive and step up and be leaders.
As we look to wrap up here tonight on the pregame, conversation. Coach, tell us a little bit about this Edinburgh team that comes to town.
Edinburgh's a good team. They have number 34 can really shoot it from deep, and he's pretty much got the green light. He's going to look for him to shoot 8 or 10 threes, and he'll let it fly from anywhere. And then number 24 is very athletic and can take it to the rack. Those two in particular are where a lot of their offense will come from. The rest of their lineup is, more so role players, I guess. I mean, they'll knock down shots when they have to. They'll finish when they have to. But they're just pretty solid players. But 24 and 34, where it looks like they're trying to, create a lot of their offense from. And they're a veteran team too. I mean, they're a bunch of juniors and seniors. They have experience, and I think experience is, at the high school level in particular, is it's just a key factor. It really is. And I thought last night that was something that affected us a little bit early. We ran into some length. They punched us in the nose a little bit, and we were back on our heels, deer in headlights for just too long, and dug too much of a hole, and then, throw that in with being a little anxious maybe and committing some silly fouls, and we just dug too big a hole, and we can't do that. You got to be ready to play, and you got to be ready to play every possession, and that's something we have to learn to do.
And they'll certainly have that opportunity here tonight on the short turnaround, Coach. What about the health of your team coming off of that road trip to Leopold last night? What's your lineup look like for this evening?
Well, I think everybody's healthy other than Cam. We'll be without Cam again tonight, and we hope he gets to feeling better. So we're going to go with Bousman and Nichols and Green at the guards, and then Sanford and Mars at the forwards.
Coach, we wish you all the best in this matchup against the Lancers and look forward to hearing from you after the ball game.
Appreciate it.
Coach Sean Smith joins us on our Senator Tip-Off pregame show. Stick with us. We'll have more in a moment. You're listening to the Senators tonight on Salem's 1220.
Looking for your next new or used car? Then head on down and check out the deals at John Jones Auto Group in Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, and Greenville. Whether you visit the lot and take a test drive or visit the virtual showroom online at johnjonesautogroup.com, you'll find the largest selection of GM cars in Kentuckiana. Whether it's a car, truck, or minivan, John Jones Auto Group has something to fit your style and your budget. Bad credit? No problem. We will find the financing that's right for you. At John Jones, we pride ourselves at finding the right deal for your situation. Call or visit today, 1-800-473-5546, or go online at johnjonesautogroup.com, and check us out on Facebook and Twitter too. John Jones Auto Group, the largest dealer in southern Indiana, serving Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, Greenville. You see so many because they paid so little.
How about you, Senator Nation, ready for round two? Because I think we finally are. We got a chance to step aside, stretch the legs a little bit, take a little bit of a break while listening to Coach Smith's comments. Let's run down our keys to victory, brought to you by our pregame show sponsor, John Jones, GM City. First and foremost, again, like the girls' perimeter prowess, we've got to get some three balls to start going and knocking them down with some consistency, especially against a very athletic Edinburgh team in town tonight. And then free throws, just like the girls, we've been atrocious from the free throw line. We'll see if we can't straighten that up. Last night, not a good night at all, just 7 of 14 in the loss in Leopold. And then third and finally, Coach, don't blink at this one, the Taylor Swift factor. We got to be able to just shake it off from last night after the loss in Leopold, as the Senators fell hard in conference play to the Commodores, 61-58. We'll step aside, take a break. They're going to play the anthem again, and we'll get a word in, hopefully from McDonald's uninterrupted this time, and we'll come back to give you our John Jones GM City starting lineup right after this.
And your keys to victory brought to you by our pregame sponsor all season long, John Jones GM City. Call the good folks at John Jones GM City by phoning 1-800-I-SELL-GM. That's 1-800-473-5546. Check them out on the web at johnjonesautogroup.com, or better yet, stop by that beautiful showroom and lot. They're on the outskirts of town, 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones GM City. You see so many because they pay so little. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by John Jones. First for the Edinburgh Lancers and Coach Keith Whitty, who is 7-4 in his first season in Edinburgh. His team averages 53.8 and they give up 47.2 per contest. Their last outing on December 27th was a win against Indy Lutheran, a team familiar to Senator football fans on the gridiron. They beat the Saints 53-49 and won their own Holiday Classic. 7-4 on the year, 2-1 in the Mid-Hoosier Conference. They'll start a 3-guard set, or really a 4-guard set. Justin Foskell, a 5'10 senior, will start at the point at 5.1 points per game. He'll be joined in the backcourt by Parker Bryan, a 6'1 senior, averaging 7.6. Christian Cox will be the lone forward in the lineup, 6'3 and a senior. He averages 11.2 per game to pace the Lancer attack. The other 2 guards in the 4-guard set will be 32, Bryce Burton, a 6'1 junior at 8.4 per game, and 34, Colton Henderson, who starts 6 foot and a junior, 8.4 per contest for Coach Keith Whitty and the Lancers. For Coach Sean Smith, 56-34 in his 4th season in Campbellsburg, 141 and 123 overall in his 12th year here at the helm at the Senator program, as well as his time at Charlestown before this stop. His team averages around 46 a game and gives up in the neighborhood of 50 per contest. That loss last night was a game that broke a 2-game win streak for the Senators coming out of that Valley Holiday tourney. They lost 61-58 in Leopold last night, and now 4-7 on the year. He will start a little bit different look tonight, a 3-guard set. Holden Bousman, 6 foot and a freshman, starts at the point, 8.4 per game for Holden, who battled foul trouble last night in Leopold. He'll be joined by his freshman classmate, number 12, Parker Green, 6 foot and a freshman at 6.8 per contest. The 3rd guard in the set will be Mikey Nichols, number 14. He's a 5'10 junior at 6.2 per game. He got the hot hand and led the Senator charge in the 3rd quarter in that comeback in the late stages. Up front, 24, Harrison Sanford starts at 1 forward on the block, 6'2 and a sophomore at 6 points per game, and one of the team's leading rebounders. Joining him in the front court will be 34, the senior big man, 6'3 senior Nick Mars, leading the team at 9.5 points per game and around 7 rebounds per contest. Senators in the white home threads trimmed in blue and red, blue letters and numerals, and it's the Lancers who will be in the road black uniforms, the black threads trimmed in red and white, red letters and numerals. Tonight's Indiana High School Athletic Association officials are Mr. Ralph Hughes, Lawrence Lohner, and Roger Volmer. It'll be Mars to tip it up here in the center circle with Christian Cox, the 6'3 senior. So 2 seniors at 6'3 go at it for the opening tip, and Bousman will steal it away in the backcourt. So Senators get it to start things out here. Glad you could join us for game number 2 of the night in our doubleheader. JV boys win in fine fashion in the front gym. Lady Senators take care of business with the big win against the Lady Lancers on this very floor just moments ago. And the Senators looking for a sweep on both accounts at the varsity and JV level. And to the other end quickly, the Lancers, whoo! Fast-paced break. Parker Bryant out to the first 2 of the night. Senators try to answer. And to the other end quickly, Lancers push in transition, much like the girls. This Lancer team shows they're ready for a track meet, Coach.
Yeah, we weren't ready for that first one. They had a leak out, and they just looked up ahead, easy layup.
Little backdoor cut underneath. They get the 2 freshmen in the air. Green and Bousman both there at the scene of the crime. First foul of the night will go on Parker Green, his first. Again, teams first, games first with 7:09 to go. Not even a minute in, and we're out to the hot start. 2-0 Lancers in front. A quick pace maybe suits the Lancers more so than the Senators. And to the free throw line goes Justin Foskell, the 5'10 senior point guard.
But Nick, we've had Nick right at the rim twice, and that's one of my we've got to finish around the bucket. We've only been inside the arc. We're 43%. That's just not going to get it done. And we've had 2 shots at layups and missed them both.
Foskell knocks them both down. Give them now a 4-0 lead over the Senators. Nice little spurt for the Lancers to start here on the road. We'll have a whistle and a foul out front. Very quick and athletic Lancer team. Foul's going to go against Parker Bryant, the 6'1 senior. He picks up his first personal of the night for the Lancers. 7:02 to go. Still haven't broke the 1 minute mark. We finally do, and it's a 4-0 lead for Edinburgh. Mars on the wing, takes it into the high post. He'll lose the handle. First turnover of the night for the Senators. And quickly back to the other end. The Lancers in business. 3 ball on the way, and Foskel drains it from downtown. He's got 5 early. It's a 7-0 start. And in the words of Lee Corso, the Lancers say, not so fast, my friend. Trying to halt this 2-0 Senator sweep going on right now. It is a full timeout for Coach Sean Smith, so we'll step aside and we'll get a word in from Walmart. You're listening to the Senators on Salem's 1220.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back out of the timeout for Coach Sean Smith at the 6:44 mark. Senators back at it on the offensive end. Green feeds underneath to Mars, who couldn't hold on. They're going to say last touch by the Lancers.
I think Nick's a little bit too amped up. He's missed a couple of layups. We had a nice feed to him under there, and luckily it bounced off of another player. Nick mishandled it. He needs to settle down a little bit, as this whole Senator team does, get a bucket and start playing ball.
90 seconds into this opening quarter of play. Senators down quick, 7-0. Lancers at the top of the Sagarin ratings, according to Coach Gibson last night on the broadcast, right in front of the Senators in sectional 62's lineup. Trying to feed Harrison down low. They miss him. They'll reverse it out instead to Mars, who takes the long 17-foot pull-up jumper straight away. It's off the mark, no good. Quick feed into the front court. Burton trying to feed Foskel, and it'll be turnover number 1 of the night for the Lancers. And as Coach Keith Whitty's team gets out, puts on the track shoes and says, let's go running.
Got to check Burton off the board. He's got all 3 of their rebounds so far. Somebody's got to check him off the boards.
Bousman trapped out front, gives it off to Green. Now in the corner it goes to Nichols. He dribbles through trouble, back to Green, now to Bousman. 3, left side, in and out, no good. Rebound fought for, and it'll go off to the Lancers on the long ricochet. Foskel able to kind of do a block out on Holden to keep him from going after it. 5:40 to play, opening quarter. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson for game number 2 of the night here on 1220. Craig Akers running the live stream video feed as well, as the Senators try to slow the pace and a hot start by the Lancers. Cutters through the paint, a little 5-out spread look with Cutters through the paint, and it's another 3-ball, this one for Colton Henderson. And that's 2 triples on the night already for the Lancers, who race out now to a 10-0 advantage. Skip pass across the floor from Bousman to Mars. Bousman gets it back, has it poked away for a moment. We'll have a whistle and a foul. Second one of the night for the Lancers. And this one's going to go against Parker Bryant. That's his second.
We needed that call a couple times last night. We didn't.
No kid.
Different officiating crew, apparently.
Darius Bennett, a 5'7" sophomore at a 1.5 per game, checks in for Bryant, who picked up the 2 quick personals.
Somebody's got to stop the run here. Somebody's got to put it in the bucket.
Bryant, with those 2 personals, giving way to Darius Bennett, a very speedy 5'7" sophomore at that. 3 minutes gone by in the first. Ball deflected away. It'll stay with the Senators as they feed Mars in the mid-post. Cross-court feed. Sanford, 1 dribble, nowhere to go. Now off to Nichols, and he'll slow it up between the circles as he backs it up to that flying W at center court. Now on the right side to Mars. He'll dribble drive into the high post. Turns. As he worked against Christian Cox, forced to give it up now to Sanford, who will cross over. Senators very, very patient on the perimeter and a little passive at that as well.
Yeah, we've seen this at times from the Senators where they're just passing it around. There's a nice aggressive
Nice
move.
cut, nice feed. Holden with the assist to Mars, who gets the Senators on the board. First basket of the night coming at the 4:26 mark of the opening quarter of play. It ends a 10-0 run for the Lancers to start. Back to the other end, though. The Lancers right back on the attack. Henderson out front, took a high ball screen. Going to leave it off for Bryce Burton, and they kick it out. Another 3 ball on the way this time for Justin Foskell. He's got 8 early, 2 triples made as well in that effort. 13-2 now, the lead for Edinburgh. Lancers leading
Nice
it.
find again by Holden to Nick.
Another connection, 22-34. Mars has 4 as he's doing everything he can to help slow down
These
this
guys
hot start.
have not missed yet.
Edinburgh bringing the A game on offense. 3 ball top of the key. There it is, coach. A miss for Colton Henderson, the junior. Racing back to the other end. Nichols will leave it off for Mars. Nice Euro step, and Mars finishes with a 3rd straight layup. Make it now 13-6.
Just got to keep chipping away here. Got 3 minutes to go. Finish the quarter strong, and we'll be fine.
We'll see 54 Jordan Myers, a 6'4 junior, check in at 4.2 per game on the next dead ball.
That should be us.
And it should be a Lancer turnover, and it is their 2nd of the night. Gavin Smith, a 6'2 sophomore, also checking in for his first minutes. Gavin Smith averaging 3.4 per contest as Harrison Sanford will have a seat. Also having a seat for the Lancers, Justin Foskell, with that hot start. 8 points to his credit, 2 of 2 from the line, and 2 triples connected on. Under 3 to play in the opening quarter. Mid-post feed to Mars, back out to Green, stops, pops, 16-footer left elbow. It would not go. Christian Cox pulls down the rebound. Lancers back in transition. He stops, hesitation, leaves it off on the wing. Burton thought about 3, and he'll kick it back out now to Darius Bennett. Bennett sends it over left side now on the wing to Colton Henderson, who hit the 3 moments ago underneath against Gavin Smith. Shot will not go for Bryce Burton, and the Senators come out with the rebound. Holden pushes in transition to Nichols, now in the corner to Green. Back to Nichols on the ball reversal. It goes out top to Bousman, who looks for a moment. He was able to lose Bennett. Gives it back now, Holden to Nichols. His 3 off the mark, no good, but a good offensive board in the short corner to Nick Mars. Ball poked away for a moment. Nichols couldn't control it. It'll be Senator basketball with 2:12 to go in the first quarter. 13-6 your score. Lancers have led the entire way thus far as Smith turns around, a little fade away on the block, won't go against Myers, who checked in with him on the last dead ball, and Christian Cox to the other end. He'll be tied up by Nick Mars, who may have took a shot to the bridge of the nose. Mars will pick up his first, team foul number 2.
This is quite a tempo to this game, too. Lancers like to get up and down the court.
Don't they know we've already done 1 game tonight?
We're trying to keep up.
We're already tired. When we said mini marathon, I guess we really meant it. Little running on high here for the vocal cords tonight as Bennett catches on the low block, kicks out. Christian Cox for a 3. It's long off the mark, no good. Holden with the strong rebound. He'll try to feed, had it poked away or blocked momentarily by Christian Cox. The floater won't go for Holden. He'll hustle back in transition as Bennett comes out of there with it for the Lancers. Bryce Burton left side, dribble handoff now to Henderson, and he'll slow it up. Senators in the man-to-man as Mars got the near steal against Cox out front. Bennett now against Bousman, and he was able to beat him off the dribble, and we'll have a foul and contact as Bennett got into the paint. No shot, foul on the floor, and this one will go as Senator foul number 3,
trip, I think, but
and Nick will pick up his 2nd. That'll prompt the 6'4 freshman Jake Strange to come in. Jake averages 3.5 per game for Coach Smith. So Mars will set with the 2 personals, minute 20 to go. 13-6 your score. Lancers out in front of West Washington. Quick 3 from the corner will go for Colton Henderson. He's got a couple of triples in his pocket, and it's now back to a double-digit lead at 16-6. Holden will break a trap out front. It'll be a reach and a foul. And this will be foul number 3 for the Lancers. And this one will go on number 34. That'll be Colton Henderson's first.
4 of 6 from beyond the arc for the Lancers right now. I mean, that's, if they're that hot, I mean, there's not much you can do. Then a couple of them are under some pressure. So, you know, hopefully they'll cool down a little bit here.
Sanford checks back in for Nichols. Just a minute to go here in this first quarter. Feed from Green to Smith in the post. Gavin kicks out to Jake Strange. High post now to Parker. 3-ball on the way. Rattles in and out, no good. Christian Cox with the rebound. The 6'3" big will lead the break. As the post presence, 6'3" senior Cox misses the pull-up jumper. Bousman with another defensive rebound. 40 seconds to go. Holden, top of the key. Hesitation against Bennett. He'll reverse now and go left side on the take. Leaves it off for Gavin Smith, who had it poked away. Turnover number 2 for West Washington. To the other end. Quick shot taken by Burton. He'll miss, and we'll have an over-the-back foul, perhaps on Jordan Myers. This will be team foul number 4 on the Lancers. Substitution upcoming for the Lancers as Myers picks up his first substitution as Fosco will check into the ball game. And
I say this a
be
lot, but
Christian
I'd like
Cox
to
who checks out.
I'd like to see us take the last shot here. It doesn't happen with us for either team, the ladies or the guys.
I'd say third time's a charm for that saying, but we've said it more than 3 times in the last couple of outings, Coach.
We get too big of a hurry. Yeah.
And down low, Jake lost the handle, had it poked away.
Oh.
And the Lady Senators at the half in the Fortner Gym lead at 25-19 over the Lady Lancers. So the girls doing their part to try to get the 4-game sweep.
Oh, he missed it. He had Holden open right away. He could have had a jumper, but he's a little late.
Sanford tries to feed in the mid-post to Smith. It'll be now Holden who gives it up to Gavin. His shot was blocked. Coming out there with it off the rebound was Colton Henderson, and then a poke away from behind as Holden flies into the third row of bleachers on the save attempt. 0.2 on the clock. No one can get a shot off here. Not even Derek Fisher for the Lakers back in the day. As the first quarter will end 16-6. Lancers out in front. That one no way can count as that quick, fast-paced first quarter comes to a close, but the Lancers race out to the 10-0 lead after 1. You're listening to Senator basketball coverage here tonight on Salem's 1220. Back with the second quarter of action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back for the second quarter of action from the Ron Smith court. Lancers lead it over the Senators 16-6 after the first period of play, as the Lancers will open up with the rock here to begin the second frame. Edinburgh wastes no time going after it from downtown. Colton Henderson shot off the mark, no good. Harrison throws it off of Henderson on the battle for the board, and on the throw off of the leg of Henderson. Heads up play by Sanford. Senators will maintain possession, working in a 10-point deficit. They've trailed by 11 and by 10 thus far.
Little 1-3-1 pressure.
Half-court trap for the Lancers, and the foul's going to go against number 12, Justin Foskel, his first, team foul number 5.
Coach Smith was very animated. Is that the word to say in the the quarter huddle?
Slightly hot under the collar. Very, very, very animated indeed. Getting after his guys. Nice offensive board work. Sanford got his own rebound and put back, counted in 1. Sanford accepts the challenge in the huddle at the quarter break, makes it 16-8. As Coach Smith will get a word with junior guard Mikey Nichols. Harrison Sanford to the free throw line, a
There we
50%
go.
shooter on the year, and cashes in. So good news for West Washington. They've started off 101 on the night from the charity stripe. Now 16-9 your score. Lancers still in front. They answer back at the other end with a Bryce Burton bucket off the window for his first two. It's now 18-9. We'll have a stoppage of play.
Backcourt foul, it looks like.
It's going to go on Justin Fosco, and that's back-to-back personals, and that's team foul number 7. So we'll walk to the other line.
That's a bright spot for the Senators at 18-9, but 7:22 to go in the first half. We're shooting one-on-ones. Now, I wrote down the same word that you used in the pregame. Atrocious from the line so far this year. 59% coming into the game. We've got to make free throws.
Number 21, Hunter Dean, a 6-foot junior's checked into the ball game for the Lancers, and Coach Keith Whitty on that last exchange. Mikey Nichols to the free throw line for the one and bonus. First one is up and silky smooth as it hits nothing but the bottom of the net. Senators with one more upcoming. 7:22 to go before the half, and it's 18-10. Second one on the way, rims all the way around and falls. So the Senators 3 for 3. Now 18.
You keep battling defensively.
Little cut off the high post screen for Henderson. He catches way off the mark, no good. Minute gone by nearly here in the second. Euro step for Nichols. His layup won't go. Harrison Sanford with the offensive board leaves it for Parker Green, who goes off the glass for his first two of the night. It's 18-13, and that prompts a timeout for Coach Keith Whitty, who's not happy with his team's rebounding effort. And it's a 30-second timeout called for the Lancers, so we'll step aside and pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight on Salem's 1220.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Timeout on the floor with 6:57 to go. Lancers burning a 30-second timeout. Coach Smith used one full timeout. 18-13 your score. Lancers have committed 7 personals already in the half, getting the Senators into the bonus, where they're 3 for 3 from the line. Senators just giving up 3 personals thus far. Senators on this 1220 AM dial, moving as always in their friendly confines of home, left to right on the dial. As the Lancers go back to it, Burton stops, maybe got away with a drag of the pivot foot, kicks cross court to Cox, who drives in. He misses the layup, but he'll be fouled on his way to the hoop, and that'll be team foul number 4 for West Washington. And they're going to peg Harrison Sanford, rather. Almost said Hunter. I'd been doing a good job of not calling him Hunter, but Harrison picks up his first personal of the night.
That's the first time you've done it in a while, though. At the beginning of the season, it was
very hard
tough.
when they're wearing the same number. The brothers, they're very similar with their athleticism. As Lancers throw it into the backcourt, and Hunter Dean able to track it down. Kind of like Parker and Noah, both wearing number 12 and being similar in their style of play. Burton holds out front, gives it back to Cox. Now top of the key, takes a screen. He'll drive in left side, and the athleticism takes over for Cox, who has his first basket of the night, makes it 20-13.
Somebody's got to stop ball. That was too easy.
Oh, no dribble handoff now on the 3-man weave out front. Nichols into the paint, leaves it short corner right side for Harrison, who kicks it back out to Nichols. Now to Bousman. And he leaves it for Nichols again, who goes between the legs. And the Senators, again, very patient out on the perimeter with the 3-man weave. Sanford and Jake Strange working the block in short corner. Sanford spins into the paint. Nice move. Couldn't get the friendly bounce. Offensive rebound back up and in for Parker Green. Parker, a career night last night, 18 points and a new career high for him at the varsity level.
Yeah, we said it during the tournament. Orange County, we're better when Parker's more aggressive. The holiday tournament, he had that one game where he didn't even take an attempt.
Dean will take it into the paint, and that's going to be a blocking foul. Jake stepped in, tried to take the charge. Thought he was there in time, but this one's going to go against Strange, his first, team foul number 6. 5:27 to go before the half. 20-15. Senators hanging around despite being down early. Free throw missed by Hunter Dean. Lancers now 2 of 3. On the year, the Lancers a 68% team from the foul stripe. Second one is up, and that one will not go. And we'll get it over the back on Jordan Myers. His second, team foul ace, will walk to the other end. And we'll have a bonus opportunity for Harrison Sanford off the strong block out and defensive board.
Well, you were right. I think, Harrison got the start, but he got pulled pretty quickly because I don't think Coach Smith was liking his effort. But something he said there in between the quarters, because Harrison has been really aggressive this quarter.
Harrison 1 for 1 on the night, a 50% shooter. He rattles that one home. So he is now 8 of 14 on the year total. Try to stay perfect. Keep your fingers crossed at home. 5:26 to go. And they're going to wave that one off. They're going to say that he stepped over the line. So
does that count for stat? I don't even.
I always count it as a miss.
That happened in the girls' game too. And it kind of messed me up in my head.
I always have to think about it, but I always take that as a missed free throw. If you hit it, but you're called for a violation, especially if it's the shooter, as Dean misses from point-blank range. Jake able to reel in the rebound as Coach Bausman gives some instruction on help side defense back up behind us. 3 minutes gone by in the quarter, 20-16. Senators within striking distance, down 4. They've been down by as many as 11 early on. On the ball, reversal Green tries to cross over. Nice job of cutting off the dribble. Burton forced him to kick it back out. Now Bausman, he'll take it against Cox. Fadeaway jumper won't go. Good take. And Papa Bausman not happy. Thought Holden forced that one a little bit.
Yeah, that was probably a force. Probably
and
right.
We'll have a travel out front as now we'll have a little barking. Cox not too happy with his teammate Henderson. He stopped, tried to feed it. Henderson went into a back cut, causes turnover number 3 of the night for the Lancers. Senators have only turned it over twice in a pretty clean first half, taking care of the ball. Backdoor cut for Bausman, leaves it off for Nichols. 3 ball on the way, off the mark, no good. Rebound fought for, and 2 Senators had it, and then 2 Senators fought for it on the floor. Cox comes out there with it. He'll drive in to Strange, and he takes the charge, and he gets the call this time.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that one either.
That'll be foul number 1 on Christian Cox, and he took a hard spill and immediately grabbed his lower back or upper gluteus maximus. He's probably going to have a bruise there in the morning. 4:13 to go. That'll be turnover number 4 as well for the Lancers. Good job of Jake getting back in transition. Tried to take the charge earlier. Still rubbing the backside a little bit. Senators down 4 with the basketball.
I really like how Jake's, he's not afraid. The first couple games we wouldn't have anybody that wanted to take a charge. Now the last few we have.
Nichols reverses back to Bausman, had it poked away, nearly loses the handle. He got it back and got hammered to the floor, and this may be number 3 on Jordan Myers. We'll see if they get him for the personal. They do indeed. That's his 3rd, team foul number 9 already against the Lancers. As the Senators inch closer to double bonus time at the line, we'll see 22. Parker Bryant with those 2 personals checked back in. Holden Bausman on the year, just a 50% free throw shooter.
He looked pretty comfortable on that one.
He did indeed, as he went 0 for 1 last night. Again, amazing to think your floor generals only shot it 6 times from the stripe all year long. But he's able to cash in both.
They keep climbing back.
And it's now a 20-18 score. Holden's got his first 2 of the night as he splashes both of them home. Hard screen out top. 2 of them, in fact, for Christian Cox, trying to free up a shooter. Henderson couldn't knock it down from outside. Cox runs it down on the defensive glass. Gives it back to Parker Bryant, who has it now on the right side as he'll dribble out of trouble and leaves it off for Burton. Burton right back to Bryant. He'll dribble drive off the high screen, tries to kiss it off the glass. Shot wouldn't go. Holden with the strong defensive board. He'll push into the front court, leaves it for Sanford. Thought about 3, gives it now to Parker in the corner. In a bit of trouble, gives it back to Sanford, to Parker. He'll drive, in trouble, kicks it out. Sanford, pump fake, runner in the paint. Long off the mark, no good. Strange fights for the rebound. And Strange.
Gonna
He's going to get pegged for the over the back. That'll be his second. Team foul 7. So now we'll walk to the other end. Or excuse me, just team foul number 6. Had it mismarked in the book or just can't count one or the other. Strange will check out with the 2 personals. Now
a little basketball cross-eyed here in the last few days, though. Oh, boy.
Abels checks in for him. As Caden Abels, the 5'7" junior, averages about 2.5 per game. Nice steal for Bousman. Turnover number 5 for the Lancers. In transition, tried to feed ahead. No one was looking. Turnover number 3, and then Holden with the foul at the other end prevents Christian Cox from getting the shot off. And coach will tell his freshman point guard to slow things down and be patient in transition as he gives some words of wisdom. That'll send Christian Cox to the free throw line. On the year, he is a 65% free throw shooter, and that one's short off the front iron. Chase Farmer will get his first minutes of the night. A rare sight for him in the first half, as he'll give Harrison a break, who picked up the personal on that last exchange. That's now 2 for him. That was team foul number 7, and Cox will get 1 more. Parker Bryant checks out of the ball game. Foskell back in, so they'll trade 2 personals for 2 personals. Cox dry on both. We'll have to keep that in mind down the stretch, as he's not a real reliable threat from the line. Abels drives in, lays it off out front to Bousman. Now back to Abels as he works out of trouble. Nice back cut for a Holden, and on the scoop, Lancers trying their best to step in for a charge. Hunter Dean very animated. He thought it should have been a charge as well. He'll check in after the first shot. Bryce Burke will check with the officials here to try to get an explanation. This Lancer team not afraid to argue some calls. Players doing it instead of the coach. And hold to the free throw line. Coach 3 for 3, and the Senators continue their hot start from the line, trying to make up for last night's woes.
Right, and it has to be that problem has to be fixed, because that will lose you ball games.
And we spoke too soon. Holden misses the second, but that brings us to within 1 at 20-19, and we'll have a block and foul. And this one will go against Abels, who took a shot to the chops on the dribble drive. Team foul number 8. So now it'll be Parker Bryant, who could have very well been called for a player control if Abels was able to gather in his feet, square up the shoulders. Bryant to the free throw line, and he misses on the 1 and bonus. Nichols with the rebound.
Mikey doing a great job on the boards. That's his 5th rebound tonight in the first half.
Lancers are 0 for 5. Bousman tried for a deep 3. It would not go. Good look during the 2-minute warning in this first half. And Bousman with another steal. Holden with the quick hands, intercepts the pass, and then he gets raked across the arm.
Is that his 2nd or 3rd?
That's Christian Cox's second personal. Team foul number 10. So Holden will go back to the line for the double bonus opportunity. Again, 3 of 4 on the night. He hasn't got anything to drop from the field, but he's been instrumental in feeding the rock and playing solid defense at the other end.
Yeah, he's got 2 assists and 2 steals as well.
Holden's first one is up and good. And it's going to be a full timeout for Coach Keith Whitty and the Lancers after that first make from Holden. It's going to be a full timeout. With 2:11 to go here in the first half, we'll step aside and take a break and come back with more second quarter action after this. You're listening to Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MediView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Out of the timeout by Coach Keith Whitty and the Lancers. Holden Bousman will toe the line for his second free throw attempt in the double bonus with 2:11 to go. We've got our first tie on that first make by Holden at 20 apiece, and the Senators have their first lead on our first lead change of the night, 21-20, as they have scrapped back from double-digit deficits of 11 and 10 in this first half of play. Holden with 5 on the night, on 5 of 6 shooting from the stripe. Poke away for Abels, turnover number 5 of the period for the Lancers, and then they get it right back off of the Senators' 4th turnover. Burton, he'll drive right side, takes it in, misses another layup. This one will go, I believe, against Farmer. That'll be team foul number 9. And for Chase, his first of the night. 6'1" sophomore giving up the foul. Chase averages close to a half point per game. Doesn't get a lot of playing time, but he did get some valuable minutes in the waning minutes of that loss in Leopold last night, as another shot goes in and out, no good from the stripe for the Lancers. This one by Bryce Burton. And the Lancers now coach 0 for 6 in this quarter. Second one on the way is good, so that breaks a drought from the charity stripe for the Lancers. We're tied for the second time at 21 apiece. Farmer controls out front, stops, gives it off down to Green, left side. A look at a cutter through the paint. That was Abels. Green will take it himself with a little flip up. He'll miss it off the backboard. Christian Cox with the rebound. Lancers looking for the lead back here as Cox will drive in transition, and we'll have a stoppage of play and another whistle. And this one will go against Farmer, his second, team foul number 10, and now the Lancers into the double bonus as Christian Cox goes back to the line, where on the evening he is 0 for 2.
Yeah, Parker forced on that last one. He's like throwing into triple coverage there. I don't know where he was going.
Christian Cox gets his first free throw to go, give him 3 on the night. And they have the lead back at 22-21 on our second lead change. Farmer will have a seat. Harrison Sanford in with Bousman, Abels, Green, and Nichols. So a 4-guard set.
Yeah.
Harrison to patrol the post on his own here, as Cox was able to knock them both down. Now 2 of 4 on the evening, 23-21. Lancers in front. Nichols right side with the dribble. Thought he had a trap coming from Christian Cox. Instead, he backs out of trouble and brings it to center court. Jumps it off now left side to Holden.
Be patient here.
Looks at a cutter, spin move, floater, one-handed shot won't go for Bousman. He'll give chase. Senators back quickly in transition. Green and Sanford stop ball, but not quick enough as Christian Cox feeds cross court. And Parker Bryant has his second field goal to make it 25-21. And just like that, the Lancers back out in front by 4.
I would say it all the time. I would take the last shot here, but oh boy.
Sanford with the step back 3. It will not go. 2 Lancers there to fight for it. Bryce Burton comes out with it. Half minute to play. Bousman giving fits to Burton, had to poke away, but right into the hands of Colton Henderson in the front court, as the Lancers perhaps will try to hold for one. And 20 seconds now to play. Abels with the steal, tries to go coast to coast, missed the reverse. Not sure why he just didn't take it on the left side and trying to reverse. Got him in a little bit of trouble as Cox will shoot the fadeaway 3, frenzied pace. Abels leads the break. Now off to Nichols. He'll take it on the Euro skip and got it to go. Nice finish for Nichols. He's got 4, and as time expires, the long heave from three-quarter court will not go, and the Senators will go into the locker room trailing at 25-23, almost a mirror score of last night where it was 30-23 at the break. We'll step aside, collect our breath and some stats. We'll come back and begin our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Senator halftime report right after this.
Police, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. Let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer? Nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
To begin our Senator Halftime Report, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors on South Main Street, just south of the square in Salem, your leading Ford and Chrysler dealer in Salem. Edinburgh leads at 25-23 at the half. Let's run down the first half scoring. First for the Edinburgh Lancers. They get 8 out of their point guard, Justin Foskell, all in that first quarter of action. They get 4 apiece from Parker Bryant and Christian Cox. And then Bryce Burton chips in 3. Colton Henderson with 6, all in the first quarter off a couple of makes from downtown. Hunter Dean and Jordan Myers play off the bench, neither one able to tally in the first half for Coach Keith Whitty, whose team goes 5 of 11 from downtown for 45%, and they hit just those 5, but give it up 8 times, so they actually lead the turnover department between the two schools here at the break. Senators, meanwhile, get a balanced attack. The problem is it's all from guys in the starting roles here tonight. Holden Bousman chips in 5 on 5 of 6 free throw shooting. Parker Green and Mikey Nichols and Hunter Harrison Sanford, did it again, Coach, all chip in 4 apiece at the first half break. And Nick Mars chips in 6, all in the first quarter of play. We saw Gavin Smith, Jake Strange, Caden Abels, and Chase Farmer all in that first half of play, but none of those guys were able to tally off of the bench for Coach Smith, whose team goes 9 of 11. How about that for a warm 82% on the night, much better than the 7 of 14 performance last night overall at Perry Central in the loss, and they give it up just 4 times, 2 in each period here this evening as the Senators go to work in that second quarter of play, just 6 points in that first quarter of action, but they put up 17 in the second period to just 9 for the Lancers in that second quarter of play. So battling back from deficits of 11 and 10, and including that 10-0 start for the Lancers to open up the game. The Senators had a moment where they were in a brief lead, but then gave it back to the Lancers very quickly on a nice little spurt for Edinburgh. And again, they own the 25-23 advantage at the half. We'll step aside, take a break, get in a word from another sponsor. When we come back, Coach Gibson will bring you all of the halftime statistics from both teams as far as the team numbers are concerned. You're listening to the Senators tonight on Salem's 1220.
With the helpful hardware, folks. We have 5 kids, and somehow their hands and feet are always on the wall. So I went to Molly at Ace. I told Sharon when it comes to durable paint, you can't do better than Valspar Optimus. Ace is the place that knows a lot about paint, but not why kids drag their hands on walls when they walk.
Before your next project, talk to your local paint experts, Eva Marie and Erica at Ace Hardware Salem, about our top-rated interior and exterior paints.
Okay, courtside here, Ron Smith Court, the halftime score. The Edinburgh Lancers lead us 25-23. Pretty even ball game so far. Shooting percentages, Senators 7 of 22 inside the arc for a 32% clip, which is, you know, we've talked about that this year. We've got to get better at finishing around the rim. Edinburgh was 4 of 10 for 40%, so they didn't get up quite as many shots. We got twice as many, but we got to start connecting on more. 0 for 6 downtown for the Senators. You know, as it's Coach Jones said, they were 4 for 11 for 36. The Lancers, 38% field goal percentage in the first half, whereas the Senators, even though we're only down 2 points, 25% field goal percentage. They just cannot find a way to get out of these offensive struggles. But I tell you what, we just keep fighting and that's why we're only down 2. So we're getting several steals. The Senators have 3 steals. Holden Bousman has 2 of them. We also have 15 rebounds. This is the first time in a while that we've actually been out-rebounded. Lancers have 16 to the Senators 15, so it's pretty even there. 4 offensive for the Senators. Mikey Nichols has 5 rebounds. Sanford with 3. So, you know, 25-23 at halftime. You know, we just got to keep fighting. We're struggling a little bit offensively, but that's nothing new this season for the Senators. We've had our struggles, but, you know, we just keep fighting and fighting. So, you know, one of the things we have to do is keep them off the boards. That's, like I said, this is the first time that we have been trailing the rebounding margin in a while, no matter who we're playing, even against Paoli and some really good teams like Paoli and Valley. We've been really scrappy on the boards, so we got to make sure we got to check them off the boards. And we got to just keep fighting. So, you know, 25% field goal percentage is a little rough, but hopefully I'm fond of saying it's a Dan Dockage-ism. I roll from Coach Jones.
I go to take a quick restroom break here at the half after all this water we've had to intake during 2 games. Water, and I come back to Dan Dockage.
Yeah, water finds its level. At least on that side, keep your chin on the rim. He says that 1,000 times a night.
But you're very lucky because I spotted a bench that looked very comfortable out there in the lobby, and I just about decided to take a nap.
You're about over. Hey, with 1 half to go, you can do it. I know so. You got it in you.
It's like a little engine that could. I think I can. That's the first half breakdown statistically. Senators trail at 25-23 at the break. We'll step aside. This has been the Senator Halftime Report brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors just south of the square in Salem. We'll come back and get ready for third quarter action right after this.
Looking for your next new or used car? Then head on down and check out the deals at John Jones Auto Group in Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, and Greenville. Whether you visit the lot and take a test drive or visit the virtual showroom online at johnjonesautogroup.com, you'll find the largest selection of GM cars in Kentuckiana. Whether it's a car, truck, or minivan, John Jones Auto Group has something to fit your style and your budget. Bad credit? No problem. We will find the financing that's right for you. At John Jones, we pride ourselves at finding the right deal for your situation. Call or visit today, 1-800-473-5546, or go online at johnjonesautogroup.com and check us out on Facebook and Twitter too. John Jones Auto Group, the largest dealer in southern Indiana, serving Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, Greenville. You see so many because they paid so little.
As we come back to the Ron Smith Court, get ready to open up second half play. I want to give a shout out to Lydia Manship and family who's listening and watching tonight. Lydia, I think probably a pretty big UK fan, but she said she liked the Dan Dockage comment, Coach.
Are you sure about that?
I only say it because she's defenseless. She can't be on a headset right now to dispute that fact.
Right,
I'm sure she will Monday, though, if we're in school. Senators start the third quarter with the basketball, operating with a 2-point deficit at 25-23. Senators open the half with their original starting 5. Green, Bousman, Nichols in the backcourt, with Mars and Sanford up front. Mars in and out, no good on the runner. Parker Green, another offensive rebound, back up and in, and we're tied for the third time at 25 apiece.
Good work by Parker on the offensive boards. He's really starting to be more aggressive on the boards. Sometimes as a freshman it takes you a little bit. But
he's got 6 to help lead the attack with Nick Mars as well, who has 6. But a 3-ball on the way is good for Foskel. That's his third triple of the night. He's into double figures with 11. That breaks the tie and sends us back to a disadvantage, 28-25. Good start for both teams out of the locker room.
I think when we play these guys, I mean, going forward in this game, and if we play them in the sectional, we got to find 12 because he can light it up.
Bausman will take the tough runner in the paint off the back iron. It won't go. Foskel tried to leak out the cherry pick. Christian Cox couldn't find him. They'll give it up to Burton instead. He takes the dribble drive against Nichols and backs it out of trouble. Swings it back around right side. Foskel will go off the dribble. Left a little high teardrop off the glass. It wouldn't go as he was challenged by Harrison Sanford at the rim. Harrison catches in transition and gives it off to Mars left side. Ball reversal back out top to Nichols, and he slows it up. Waits instruction to be given, and it's given by Coach Smith, who says, let's go back to our spread look out front. A little 3-man weave with guys on the short corner. Try to dribble drive and catch someone falling asleep. Nearly 2 minutes gone by in the period. Bausman through the paint. Green with the drive, leaves it off for Nichols. Right back to Green on the give and go, and he can't finish.
Kind of got a piece of a block there.
Rebound off to Parker Bryant. He gets it back from Burton, works it now on the left wing, and he'll dribble out top. 5:48 and counting, third quarter. Parker with the drive. Parker Bryant. Good start to the quarter for him.
Yeah,
his
coach
first
going to take
basket.
a timeout, I think.
And it is now 30-25, a 5-point lead for the Lancers. That'll prompt the timeout for Coach Smith. Going to be a 30-second timeout, leaving him with 2 fulls and a 30 at the 5:35 mark of the period. Let's step aside 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Coach Smith trying to give some encouragement to his guys who have played pretty good basketball, got out to the slow start, fell behind 10-0 early, battled their way back to take a brief 21-20 advantage. We were tied 2 times in that first half, tied 3 times overall. We've had a couple of lead changes here as Bausman will back out and away against the half-court pressure, rather. They feed inside to Harrison. His kick out to Nichols is good for 3. Mikey's got 7 on the night on his first connection from downtown, and it's 30-28. Parker Bryant now into the front court, brings it right side over to Burton. Burton will work the dribble. Gives it up out top to Parker Bryant. He'll take a high screen from Christian Cox, left side, backs out of it. Now use the dribble to come back out and reset the offense. We roll under 5 minutes to go here in the third. Parker Bryant now right side to Burton.
Got to get
a lot of
a
5 out.
A lot of standing around here. We're standing straight up. Got to be athletic. That's what Coach Bausman just said from beside us. They're going to get us on a back cut pretty soon if we're not careful.
It's really like a 5-out pass and slash Mike Miller style of offense from Lanesville, as we'll have a foul. Harrison Sanford took a shot to the head or to the face. He's still down on the floor. Foul's going to go on Harrison, his third.
Foul's going on 24, Harrison Sanford.
And that's going to be the first foul of the half for either ball club. Harrison's still down. Didn't see what happened there, Coach, on the exchange.
Well, he deflected the ball away, but I don't know if there was some arms and legs flailing around and he took an accidental elbow or
I think
what.
perhaps he needs to start wearing a helmet out here, because it seems like the last 4 games he's come up with some kind of head injury and been a little dazed and confused and had to come out of the ball game. 4:35 to go third quarter. Senators down 30-28. Parker Bryant to inbound in front of us. As he'll throw it into the backcourt to Burton. He'll bring it up against pressure from Mikey Nichols. Dribble drive into the high post. He'll turn his back. Kick out to Christian Cox. His 3 on the way. Off the mark, no good. And Parker Green will track it down in the corner. Lays it for Nichols, and now the Senators will be on the run. Nice dunk, though, on the pickpocket. Christian Cox with the little slam. A little light touch of the rim on his way up. Make it 32-28. Senators with their 5th turnover of the night. Again, just 4 in that first half. Nichols thought he had the green light to go, and Christian Cox with another near poke away, as we'll have a substitution. Darius Bennett will check back in to the ball game. We'll also see Hunter Dean check back in as well. Coach Whitty going 8 deep in his rotation as Foskell will check out along with Colton Henderson.
Just silly turnovers. I mean, we one possession game, we got the rebound, and we just not very careful with the ball.
High post feed to Jake Strange, 2 dribbles. He kicks it back out to Mars, who goes to Nichols, now out top to Bousman. Bousman to Green, high post to Mars. He'll turn, leave it to Strange on the short corner. Back to Mars on the low block. He can't finish off the glass against Christian Cox, who pulls the board, and he'll lead the break. Brings it down, hesitation, crosses over, had it stripped away. Turnover number 9 for the Lancers, and in transition, Holden will be fouled off the pickpocket across the way at midcourt. This will be Lancer foul number 1 of the half, and this one will go on 32. Bryce Burton, who picks up his first of the game. 3.5 to go. Coach Smith now ripping into the freshman big man, Jake Strange, who will post on the left block. And Nichols feeds to him, stared him down way too long. It's kind of like a quarterback. Yeah. Quarterback stares at the receiver too long. You know where it's going if you're a DB, as that's the 2nd consecutive turnover from Mikey Nichols, and that might prompt a substitution of Caden Abels for Nichols on the next dead ball. Ball poked away. It'll stay with the Lancers on the baseline. 3:06 to go. Abels in. Instead, it will be, nope, Strange started to come out. He says, nope, big fella, you stay in. Nichols is coming out. And he'll get some instruction from Coach Smith. And bounce pass comes in safely to Dean. Kicks it out to Bryant, who looks for a high screen from Cox. It gets waved off. He'll give it up to Bennett. Now back out top to Bryant. Patient with the dribble. Under 3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Bryant will split the double team, has it poked away.
Nice job,
Jake Strange gets on the floor and gets after it for the steal. Turnover number 10 for the Lancers. Abels back in transition. Tries to feed it to Mars, who wasn't looking. Throws the rocket pass, and that's turnover number 3 of the period already for West Washington. You can't take a turnover and give it right back. Too many empty possessions against a solid Edinburgh team will spell a little bit too much trouble. Parker Bryant will walk it across now, right side. He'll try to isolate on the block. Bryant instead will back it back out as he works against the quick hands of Caden Abels with the 5 count on. Darius Bennett gives it off in the corner, gets it right back, kicks it cross court to Bryant, who works it right side now to Burton. His dribble drive, he'll be fouled on his way to the hoop, and I believe they're going to get...
Nick's getting into a one-on-one battle instead of playing team defense.
They're gonna talk now maybe to both of them a little bit about the jawing, as Bryce Burton gets a word from the officiating crew, and they're gonna go over and talk to maybe Nick Mars as well. As Mars is going to get tagged for the personal. Thought they might get Jake for standing in, trying to take contact. 2:12 to go nonetheless in the quarter. Harrison Sanford will check back in after the first free throw attempt by Bryce Burton, who cashes in. He's now 2 of 3 on the night. Give him 4.
I thought that was a good call. Nick swung wildly trying to get a block shot. I mean, that's going to get called every time.
We'll see Jordan Myers, the 6'4 junior, check in for the Lancers, so they'll exchange some height and athleticism for some height and muscle, as Christian Cox will have a seat. Second free throw upcoming for Burton. This one on the way is good as well. He's now 3 of 4 on the night. Give him 5 in the ball game, and it is now 34-28.
Got to answer.
Bousman will send it off to Green, right wing. He'll look to take the dribble against Dean. He'll back it out of trouble and leave it off for Abels. Right side, goes behind the back, then crosses over against a quick, speedy Bennett. They feed short corner, and Parker Green rattles it home from 10 feet on the right baseline. He's got 8 in the ball game. Make it now 34-30, minute 46 and counting.
See, that was a nice play by Caden. He crossed him over, got in the paint, drew the defenders, and then found a guy.
Burton will be fouled on his way to the hoop. They'll get Abels for the reach, and this will be his second team foul, number 3.
Fouls on the floor, Caden Abels. That's his second, team's
just trying to reach in for the steal and got most of the wrist. But I mean, like going back to that offense possession, that was nice. He drew the defenders to him, found Parker in the short corner, bang. You know, that's the kind of play we need from our guards. Not the drive in wildly and not have a plan. You know, sometimes we don't have a plan when we drive in there.
Sometimes we do the same thing with the girls. We drive baseline or we get into the paint with nowhere to go. We just kind of throw up a hope and a prayer or have it poked away, and so we have a substitution. Parker Bryant checks out. Foskel back into the ball game for the Lancers. First free throw, no good for Burton. His second miss of the night, left that one short, so 0 for 2 after going 2 for 2 on the last exchange from the stripe. Coming up on a minute and a half to play in the third. Holden will slow it up as he crosses into the front court. He'll work out front against Foskel. Nice feed off down low and a nice baseline move on the square up. And Jake Strange has his first points of the night at a good time. Makes it 34-32.
Turned it over. Little mishandled over right at West Washington on the sideline, right by the Ron Smith court logo, and they just didn't, neither one of them grabbed it.
Burton will check out of the ball game, and we'll see Colton Henderson back into the lineup. Henderson out there with Foskel, Darius Bennett, as well as Jordan Myers.
Last couple times that we've turned them over, we've turned it over ourselves. Let's see if we can't.
Hunter Dean also in for the Lancers, the fifth in that lineup right now. For the Senators, it's Bousman, Abels, Green, Sanford, and Strange. Ball poked away. Over in the far corner, Parker to inbound on a bad spot on the baseline. 61 seconds to go in the period. They'll run a couple guys off of a staggered look screen underneath. Nice feed. Harrison to Jake, who finishes down low. He's got 2 in a row, and it's tied again at 34 apiece. Our fourth tie of the night.
48 seconds.
Got to buckle down defensively here. A good, solid battle between a couple of sectional 62 teams here tonight. Nice little pull-up jumper. 16-footer wouldn't go from the elbow. Harrison fought for the rebound. It was poked away by Myers, but they'll stay with the Lancers. They'll say last touch by Harrison, as Myers may have got away with an over-the-back.
Yeah, that should have been his fourth foul.
They'll lob it out top to Darius Bennett. He may have got away with a little Texas two-step. Ball goes to the top of the rim, and that'll be waved off as it goes out of bounds. Coach says 1 finger up, and you know what that means.
Yeah,
I want
we'll
one, and we'll see here with 25 and counting.
I'm not too sure that's happened yet this year, no matter how much time's left.
It's like the song, Coach. There's the first time for everything. That'll be the end of my singing for the night, by the way. It's 10 seconds to play. Bousman has it out front, leaves it off for Harrison. His shot left short. 5 seconds to go. They'll race back in transition. Dean will catch right wing. 3-ball on the way. Got it to go at the buzzer. Hunter Dean, his first basket's a big one. It breaks the tie and gives the Lancers the lead back at 37-34 as we roll into the fourth and final quarter of regulation. Senators hanging tough with the Lancers here in this battle tonight. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back with fourth quarter action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Senators force a miss out of the break, and Caden Abels Off of the Senator charge to the other end, able to connect for his first points of the night. A big three to answer Dean's at the end of the quarter, and we're tied for the 5th time at 37 apiece. Abels and Dean trading threes to the other end. Another missed shot, this one for Foskel. Senators with a chance to claim their second lead of the night at 21-20. That's what they led earlier in the second quarter. Let's see if they can get lead number 2 on this possession, Coach.
Foskel's first miss from downtown.
Pass into the high post over the head of Green. Turnover for Sanford. That's the 8th of the game. Wide open layup miss for Foskel. Good time for him to miss 2 in a row, and the Senators back at it. Under 7 minutes to play in regulation. 37-37. Low-scoring battle again for the Senators here tonight. Feed down low to Strange. Baby hook over Christian Cox will go. Freshman big man comes alive. Senators give the 3rd lead change of the night to us. And their 2nd lead. Working with a 39-37 lead. They go back to work defensively, and they've got Edinburgh just a little rattled as Nick Mars waits to check in. Next dead ball. Dribble drive. Burton kicks cross court. 3 ball on the way. Bryant in and out, no good. Strong rebound. Good job on the boards by the much smaller Caden Abels. Catches. Stops. Pop! Bang again! 3 ball for Abels. He's got back-to-back triples. Largest lead of the night for the Senators at 42-37. Foskel with it right side. Gives it back to Burton. High screen for Christian Cox. Abels has the hot hand. Matt Myers offering some instruction to Nick Mars. Abels gambled for the steal. We'll have a Senator foul on the reach around.
I'm not even sure there was
and we've
much
got a twisted
contact.
ankle. Tell you what, Coach, got an injury here. Foul's going to go on Bousman. That'll be team foul number 4. Holden's 2nd of the night. And Harrison's going to check out. Mars back in, and on the floor right now, I believe it may be Parker Bryant with the rolled ankle. He immediately grabbed back for it. 5:48 to go in regulation. Again, Senators with their largest lead at 42-37, courtesy of the hot hand of Caden Abels. Darius Bennett will check in. Bryant will check out with the rolled ankle. It'll be Burton, Bennett, Cox out there with Foskel, and Colton Henderson for the Lancers. Abels, Bousman, Mars, Strange, and Green right now for Coach Smith. 5:40 and counting. 5-point lead for the Senators. Bennett has it left wing, gives it back to Burton. Takes a high screen from Christian Cox, now off to Foskel. Again, a little 5-out spread, little look for this Lancer team. Looking for the pass and slash underneath. Cox with the reverse layup in traffic, got it to go. He's got 8 on the night, make it now 42-39. Holden works against the double team, gives it to Green as they get it into the front court safely. Bousman will dribble handoff now to Abels. He'll work against Bennett, goes behind the back into the paint. Scoop shot won't go off the glass. Good take for Abels. He runs into the padding. He'll have to hustle back. It's a 5-on-4 break for the Lancers. Quickly into the paint. Foskel with these shots swatted out of there by Jake Strange. It'll be a jump ball, and the Senators will have it at the 4:53 mark. Great defensive presence with a long wingspan. Nice block for Jake Strange.
There's a nice take on the last offensive possession by Abels. He just couldn't finish, but yeah, that was nice by Jake. He's getting a little bit more comfortable, don't you think, Jake Strange?
Just a little bit on the offensive and defensive end for that matter. Another dribble handoff. Parker out front. He'll be bumped by Foskel. This will be his 3rd, team foul number 2.
Both teams in pretty decent shape foul-wise right now.
Foskel will check out with the 3 personals. That'll bring Hunter Dean off the bench, the 6-foot junior, inserted back into the Lancer lineup. Parker, he'll inbound to Strange. He'll turn and square. Backdoor feed for Mars, who can't finish on the layup. Lancers back at it to the other end quickly on the break. Burton looks cross court. Instead, keeps the dribble alive as he'll bring it right side. Now it gives it off to Dean. Gets it back, high screen from Cox. He'll look to go off the dribble against Strange, who cuts him off. Christian Cox controls out front. Coming up on the halfway mark of this 4th quarter. Senators hanging tough against the good Lancers team. They've got a 3-point lead at 42-39. With the catch, Henderson gives it off to Bennett. Quick first step. Could be challenged at the rim by Holden, but he's able to finish. Bennett has his first two, and it's 42-41. Senators with a 1-point lead. Bowsman controls. Off to Green. Now to Abels' right side. No need to rush anything here as Abels leaves it off for Holden. Spins in the paint. Little floater won't go. Rebound comes off to Burton. He'll lead the break. Looks to work against Mars. Thinks better of it against Mars. And Strange will try to take the charge against Cox. And he'll be whistled for the block. And for Jake, this will be his third, team foul number 5. Either team into the bonus up to this point. 3:38 to go. Harrison Sanford will check back in. And, Coach, it looks like he may have a bit of a shiner working on that right eye.
Yeah, when he was down that one time in the third quarter, I think he took an elbow or a shoulder right to the eye. But we've had 3 straight possessions right at the bucket and haven't finished a single one of them.
Harrison, pretty tough, hard-nosed kid. He's about as tough as a $2 steak. 3.5 to go. Senators with the 1-point lead underneath. Nice pump fake. Bryce Burton with the basket. His second field goal of the night. He now has 7. Lancers give us our 4th lead change. They have the 43-42 advantage. Abels has it out front. It'll be a timeout by Coach Sean Smith, a full timeout, leaving him with a full and a 30 at the 3:13 mark. Let's step aside, get a word in from another sponsor, and we'll come back with more 4th quarter action right after this.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Out of the timeout for Coach Smith, it'll be Sanford, Abels, Bowsman out there with Green and Mars. For the Lancers, it'll be Dean, Cox, Burton, Henderson, and Darius Bennett. Senators with the basketball as Harrison throws it into the backcourt to Abels. He'll be picked up. It'll be a run and jump trap here for the Lancers in the half court. Parker tries to send it across the floor to Abels. Nice quick touch pass to Mars, who finishes down low. Nick has his first point since the first quarter. Give him 8. 5th lead change of the night. Senators back out in front, 44-43. Burton controls the dribble right side, 2:47 and counting.
Ever since that one turnover in the third quarter, Caden Abels has really been playing well in this towards the end of the ball game.
I'm going to venture to say this is Caden's best game of the season.
I agree. Yeah, he's really played well in this 4th quarter.
Done a good job of taking care of the ball, shooting the ball.
Foul on 12, Parker Green, that's his second.
Be Parker's second personal of the night. 6th on the Senators, so the next one will put the Lancers in the bonus the rest of the way home. 2:39 to go on the inbounds pass. Ball swung around to Bennett, now to Cox. Fadeaway jumper, and the paint will go. Nice athletic move. Cox now has 10. 6th lead change, 45-44. Abels controls it out front. Gives it off to Harrison, left wing. Now to Parker. He'll dribble out of trouble and give it back to Holden out top. Right back to Parker, left side. They'll ISO for Mars on the block. Back to Parker. Dribble drive to Holden. Pump fake. He'll drive against Dean. One-hand floater will go. Good time for Holden's first field goal. He's got 7. Lead change number 7. Back and forth we go. Burton to the other end. Misses the layup.
Bowsman with the rebound.
46,
up ahead.
45, wide open. Harrison Sanford with his first basket in the second half. He's got 6. It's back to a 3-point lead for the Senators at 48-45. Burton picked up. Holden to challenge at the rim, and Burton gets it to go. Ping pong match, back and forth. Burton with the N1 opportunity.
Fouls on 22, over foul.
Some prompt substitution here as Parker Bryant will check back into the ball game.
32, Brian, has 1 shot.
He's got 1 free throw. Got to make sure. He's at times struggled, I think, from the line. 3 of 6. So we got to check out.
Burton with the N1 opportunity, and he gets it to go. Make it now 48-48.
Anybody's ball game. You got to play. You got to take care of the ball, make smart decisions.
6th tie of the night, along with 7 lead changes in what's been a dandy here this evening. Minute and a half to go in this one, anybody's game. 48-48. Bennett picks up Abels as he goes through the legs. He'll kick it back out to Bousman. Right side now to Green, back to Bousman. On the reversal, will go to Abels. Tries to cross over against Bennett. Ball on the floor. Marsh saves the possession. Coach Smith says, let's get another timeout in. Full timeout so they can talk about it. That'll leave him with a 30 in the back hip pocket. The minute 16 to go. Let's step aside, get another word in from a sponsor, and we'll come back with more right after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks.
We have 5 kids, and somehow their hands and feet are always on the wall. So I went to Molly and Ace. I told Sharon when it comes to durable paint, you can't do better than Valspar Optimus.
Ace is the place that knows a lot about paint, but not why kids drag their hands on walls when they walk.
Before your next project, talk to your local paint experts, Eva Marie and Erica at Ace Hardware of Salem, about our top-rated interior and exterior paints.
So we come back, minute 16 to go, tie ball game, 48 apiece. Couple of shout outs on the north side of the school road. Good neighbor Sarah Burks listening at home with Sir Deacon, who sends his well wishes to us as they're following along on tonight's broadcast. So hello to Deacon and Sarah, who went home after the girls' big win tonight. And a shout out to Mama Jones as well. I know she's listening at home. Holden with the basketball out front. Abels now tries to leave it off for Mars. Ball was deflected. It'll be an untimely turnover, the 9th of the game for West Washington with 61 seconds to play. I was joking earlier about going overtime in one or both of these games. And we could be headed for one.
We got to get a stop here, though. I mean, it just, when it comes down to crunch time, your guards have to make good decisions. And they just didn't there.
Burton has it. Senators will have to lock down defensively. 48 seconds and counting on the wing. Foster gives it up to Christian Cox. He'll back it out now as he works against Abels. He'll try to take it off the dribble. Abels shuts it off. They give it back to Foster. Now to Burton. Burton's been deadly for him here in the quarter. He'll take the dribble drive, be blocked from behind, but somehow gets it to go. 7 for him in the quarter, 9 in the half, and 12 in the ball game. To the other end, though, the Senators able to answer right back with Nick Mars, who now has 10. Tied again at 50 apiece.
Holden with the steal.
Holden gets the steal. Turnover number 4 of the half, and we'll have a foul in the backcourt.
Yeah, they don't.
On the Lancers here. Foul's going to go on Christian Cox, his 3rd. Crazy pace here. Going to get things caught up a little bit. And a timeout for the Lancers after the turnover. That's their 12th of the ball game. Substitution, Dean will check in. It's a full timeout for Coach Keith Whitty's Lancers. 7.7 seconds to go. 50-50, and the Senators with a chance to win it. I tell you what, let's just keep it right here. Remind fans that Ace Hardware of Salem will bring you our second post-game show of the night. Lady Senators took care of business earlier on this evening as they romped over the Lady Lancers 67-49, the final, behind 21 from Cass Keltner and 18 from Maddie Bousman to lead the way. Hattie Griffiths also getting into double figures with 12 on the night as well. Nice steal for
take
Holden.
The last shot? That's my question.
Well, we don't have to worry about burning a minute or a half minute, so surely to goodness we can hold for 7 seconds.
I don't know. We get impatient.
Hey, you know what? If we get a good quick set,
we go the lob out of the from the out of bounds play.
If we get a good quick set and a made shot, I don't
Yeah,
care.
I agree. Yeah, I'm just messing around.
No,
we talk about it.
You have a great point, because it would not be like us to take a wild shot and give them 5 seconds.
We took an early shot at the end of the third quarter. They came down and hit a 3. Boy, that 3 points is big right now.
We'll hope that's not the case. Holden gets it into the backcourt, crosses over, gets it into the front court, and they'll give up a quick foul. Holden tried to wisely chuck it up on contact. This will be just the 4th foul on the Lancers. They got to be careful about giving up a foul, because the Senators know that they've got plenty to give up. That one goes against Burton, his 2nd. To inbound again. Holden will get it. He'll catch, fire, 3. Off the mark, no good on the tip-back attempt. Harrison had a chance at it. Senator fans wanted a foul. And wouldn't you know it, 4 games in 3 days, just not enough, and we're going to an extra 4 minutes of basketball here tonight. Overtime between the Senators and Lancers. We'll step aside, take a break, catch our breath, and we'll come back with the overtime period right after this.
This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Holden's last-second heroics just not to be, as his shot was just off the mark, a little long from the right wing. It'll be Cox out there to jump it up with Mars. Senators will start with Green, Sanford, Bousman, Abels, and Mars to tip it off here. That's the 5 for West Washington. It's Foskell out there with Burton, Cox, Bryant, and Henderson for the Lancers as we go into an overtime session underneath. Nice give and go. Cox missed the shot. Long tip out on the rebound. It goes to Foskell. 3 on the way is good. Second chance points. That's his 3rd triple of the night. Hadn't scored since the 1st quarter. Big time to give the Lancers the lead at 53-50 as we open up play in the overtime session. Eagles with it out front. Don't have to answer with a 3. 3:20 and counting in overtime. They miss Mars cutting through the paint. They'll give it off to Bousman. And he'll survey the damage, as we've got a lot of our youth, junior high and elementary students who've went over and created a rather large cheer block. And we'll have a whistle and a foul out front on the dribble drive. This will be a foul on 24 Cox, his 4th. Team foul number 5, so we've still got a couple to give, or at least 1 to give before the Senators go to the stripe. Abels catches on the inbounds play. Bousman drives in, leaves it for Green. He'll drive, try to kick it cross court to Abels. He saves, it goes behind the back. Little floater from the baseline won't go. Parker with the back tap to Bousman. 3, he gets knocked to the floor, no call. Mars with the offensive rebound. Senators will reset, 2:48 and counting. If you went home early, shame, shame. I'm talking to you, Sarah Burks. You're missing a dandy. Senators in a battle here in overtime, 53-50.
Got to keep up. We've got to get a bucket on this. It doesn't have to be a 3, but you got to get a bucket.
High screen, Bousman, 3, long and off the mark. A good look, though. He'll give chase, and he'll come up with the steal, or Parker will, at least off the deflection for Holden. Turnover number 13 of the game for the Lancers, and the Senators have life again, down 3. Harrison controls left wing, cutter through the paint. That was Abels. Instead, they'll give it off now as they jump it right side to Mars. He'll dribble out front. Thought about taking it against Cox. He'll give it up now to Holden, who'll survey the damage. Under 2 minutes to go in the overtime period. Harrison with the dribble out front. Crosses over, comes back to Marsh. Senators deliberate here. Green, he'll stop, pop, 3, left short. Nice offensive board work for Harrison. Kick out, Holden, deep 2, got it to go. Holden's got the first Senator points of the overtime. It's 53-52 with a minute 35 and counting in the overtime session. Out front, Burton gives it up. Foskell will swing it around on the perimeter. It goes now over to Bryant, looking for a back cut. He'll dribble drive, have it poked away.
Again.
Holden had the steal, and they're going to call a...
That's a held ball.
That's a jump ball. They're going to give the timeout to Edinburgh. He signaled jump ball. Wow.
Oh my.
Edinburgh's
that could be a huge call, and
it was
the wrong call.
No one had possession. Holden in there digging for it, and they're going to give the Lancers the time out with a minute 19 to go. It'll be a full timeout. We'll keep it right here. Hey, I tell you what, let's pause for just a second for station identification. You're listening to the Senators on Salem's 1220.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
If the Senators indeed have to start looking at fouls with 79 seconds to go in the overtime period, good option might be a guy like Christian Cox, who's had his share of struggles tonight, just 50% from the line, or even a guy like Hunter Dean, if he gets injected back into the lineup, 0 for 2. Parker Bryant also 0 for 1. He's in there right now. So a couple of different options for the Senators as they'll break the side stack and get it in. 75 seconds to play. Nice steal for Bousman as he plays the passing lane. He'll go to the other end and have it poked away. Turnover for the Senators, their 10th of the game. Feed back into the front court. Cox skips it. Cross court. 3 ball on the way. No good. Parker will be knocked to the floor. And the Lancer coaches say, hey, let's slow this thing down as they get after Cox for the cross-court feed. They wanted him to hold it out front, and that's going to be team foul number 6. So the next one will put the Senators in the bonus. Good backside board for Parker Green on the defensive glass with 59.4. Senators will be picked up at the half-court stripe with under a minute to play. Chance to take the lead, or at the very least tie, maybe on a made free throw if they can get to the stripe. Out front, with the spread, they'll try to go high post to Mars. Turnover as Green tried to feed him. 40 seconds to go. Going to have to look at some guys that they can foul here in this situation. Traps out front. Ball fed underneath, and a give up on the wide open layup to Foskell. He's got his first 2 of the overtime, 55-52. Under a half minute to go. Senators down 3. Full timeout for Coach Smith as he got the freebie with the overtime session. 25.8 on the clock. Let's step aside and take another break. We'll come back with more right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
On the game reset, 55-52 coming out of the timeout by Coach Smith with 25.8. Senators will have it right in front of us at the end of Coach Smith's coaching box. A 3 ball will tie it. We take a quick basket and try to get a stop though. Lancers 8 of 16 on the night from the free throw line for just 50%. They're a 68% team on the season. So if we don't get one here, we can give up a foul because we've got Dean now into the ball game on that last exchange, and he's 0 for 2 on the night. So a couple of options here again.
Plenty of time.
Abels.
You got to get a good look.
Abels to Mars, left side, back to Bousman. They'll bring Abels off a screen, set back 3. Couldn't get it to go as it ran in and out, and they'll give up the foul on Dean. Quick foul, and that's a good foul. Again, he's 0 for 2 on the night as the Senators pick up their 8th of the half in overtime session. Sanford, Holden, Sanford with the personal, that's his 3rd. And to the line, Hunter Dean.
Got to check
0
out.
for 2 on the night.
0 for 3.
And 0 for 3, a good miss. We get what we want, 3-point game. Under 10 seconds to go. Holden deep 3, way off the mark, no good. And it will be Lancer basketball with 5.5 to go. Substitutions here as we'll see Henderson check back in with Foskel. Holden tried to deep 3, maybe thought that there was a little less time than what there actually was.
That's a 0 for 5 in the overtime from behind the arc, so it's just...
Got to give up the quick foul here. And it's going to be a timeout. Keith Whitty gets it, even though they got it in to Henderson. Henderson has not shot a free throw, so not sure if that would have been a good situation or not. Timeout on the floor. It'll be a full timeout for Edinburgh with 4.5 seconds to go. Coach Smith now trying to get word from these officials. And I tell you what, I go right back to, and
they should put the 5.5 on because he called it.
1 second went off the clock. Coach Smith says, hey, it's a bang-bang situation, but if you're going to call the timeout, I don't know here. They're going to talk about it out in front of us right now. 55-52. Edinburgh leads.
I mean, he
by
called
3.
it while the ball was out of bounds,
yes,
but he didn't whistle it until the ball was inbounds.
Senators will have to give up a very quick foul or hope for a steal, and if they, in fact, give up the foul, they're going to have to hope for a miss and push quickly with just 4.5 on the clock. Coach Smith will still try to argue his point here. This has been a fun battle, and again, just like the girls with Trinity Lutheran, sure would like to see this matchup again, maybe in a sectional final up at Edinburgh at the beginning of March. Edinburgh set to inbound. They'll go with Foskel by himself and 3 guys across the timeline area. Cox in the middle of the floor, face guarded by Abels. They'll try to break a guy along. And they'll have a runoff, and we'll have a foul given up with
oh my!
With 4.2. And I'm pretty sure I saw Burton. Did Burton not just throw the ball back
He just threw the ball
at Harrison. Took exception to the quick foul, threw the ball at him, and somehow didn't get teed up. I think that might be the second big miss by this crew here in the late stages. They missed on the jump ball where they gave the timeout to Coach Whitty and the Lancers. Missed out on that opportunity as well. Burton to the free throw line for the one-in bonus and hits it. And that might be the icing on the cake. A lot of jawing right now by this Edinburgh team. Harrison Sanford giving the eye to Bryant. 4.2. This one just academic as it's left short. 56-52. Deep shot for Holden, off the mark, no good. And this Bryant kid's got a mouth on him as he continues to chirp, as Edinburgh will walk away from Campbellsburg with a split of the boys' side of things, 55-52. Senators managed just 2 points in the extra period. And the Lancers will escape with the victory and a little bit of attitude and lip as well. It got pretty chippy there late, and again, you know, typically you see a kid throw a ball. I mean, that's almost Christian Leitner-like.
Yeah, he threw it right at Harrison. They didn't do anything, and they were chirping at the end. I don't actively root against teams, but I don't think I can root for that team. That was very classless at the end of that ball game.
56-52, so we'll step aside, try to calm the nerves a little bit and the frustration as the Senators fall here tonight. They go 0 for 2 on the weekend. The girls managing a split at the varsity level, though, with the win earlier tonight, 67-49, the final. We'll come back and begin our post-game show wrap-up, brought to you by Ace Hardware of Salem right after this.
Yeah, hello, police. Yeah, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer? Nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel seamanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Coach, if I only had a censor button, we'd let Beth Bousman onto the airways tonight. She was not very happy with the end of that ball game, and neither was the rest of Senator Nation, as maybe a few missed opportunities by this crew to stop some chirping and some mouthing on the part of Edinburgh late, especially with the Burton kid tossing the ball right at Harrison after that quick foul with 4.2 on the clock. Nonetheless, the Senators fall in overtime. 56-52 is your final. Let's run down the scoring for both of these clubs. First for the Lancers, who now moved to 8-4 on the year. They stay, of course, 2-1 in the Mid-Hoosier Conference. They're in the same conference as North and South Decatur, Southwestern Shelbyville, Hauser, Morristown, and Waldron. They get 3 guys in double figures tonight, led by Justin Foskell and Bryce Burton, who have 13 apiece. Christian Cox chips in 10. Parker Bryant with 6 and Colton Henderson with 9, so a solid effort across the board for the 5 starters for Edinburgh. Darius Bennett, Hunter Dean, and Jordan Myers come off the bench in the 8-man rotation for Coach Keith Whitty tonight. Bennett and Dean chip in 2 and 3 points respectively. Jordan Myers goes scoreless on the night. 9 of 19 from the free throw line were the Lancers for just 47% in this one after going 5 of 11 in the first half. They give it up 14 times overall, 8 in the first half and 6 in the second half and overtime periods combined. Meanwhile, for West Washington, on the 0 for 2 weekend, now they drop to 4-8 overall on the season, but a lot of close ball games. And you got to remember, folks, this is doing it with a rather young lineup. So this team may be taking some lumps now, but what goes around comes around. As the Senators tonight manage just 1 guy in double figures, but they have solid balance throughout. Nick Mars leads the way with 10 points, right at his season average of 9.5 per ball game. 9 for Holden Bousman on 5 of 6 free throw shooting as well. 8 for Parker Green, sandwiched in that second and third quarter alone. Mikey Nichols chips in 7. Harrison Sanford has 6 on the night. Gavin Smith, Jake Strange, Caden Abels, and Chase Farmer play in a 9-man rotation Farmer and Smith go scoreless. Strange and Abels chip in 6 apiece. Senators, how about this? At halftime, they were 9 for 11 for 82%. For the game, 9 of 11 for 82%. We did not get a single chance at the free throw line in the second half or overtime period. Senators give it up 11 times overall, 4 in the first half and just 7 in the second half. So there's a silver lining to another dark cloud for the Senators as they cut down on their turnover rate, which had been kind of sky high at around 17 or 18 per game for Coach Smith's ball club. After the first quarter of play, it was 16-6, all Lancers, as they actually jumped out to a 10-0 advantage, had leads in the first half of 11 and 10 on 2 different occasions. Second quarter, though, belongs to West Washington. They fight back, outscoring the Lancers 17-9, going to the locker room down just 25-23. Third quarter belongs to the Lancers. They outscore West Washington 12-11, which takes us to a 37-34 score heading into the fourth. And then it was the Senators who roared back, outscoring the Lancers 16-13 to take us to overtime at 50 apiece. And in the overtime session, the Lancers do just enough as they outscore West Washington 6-2 in the final 4 minutes of play, and they escape the Berg with the 56-52 victory here tonight. We'll step aside, take a break. Coach Gibson's finishing up some team statistics, and we'll come back with those in just a moment.
Looking for your next new or used car? Then head on down and check out the deals at John Jones Auto Group in Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, and Greenville. Whether you visit the lot and take a test drive or visit the virtual showroom online at johnjonesautogroup.com, you'll find the largest selection of GM cars in Kentuckiana. Whether it's a car, truck, or minivan, John Jones Auto Group has something to fit your style and your budget. Bad credit? No problem. We will find the financing that's right for you. At John Jones, we pride ourselves at finding the right deal for your situation. Call or visit today, 1-800-473-5546, or go online at johnjonesautogroup.com and check us out on Facebook and Twitter too. John Jones Auto Group, the largest dealer in southern Indiana, serving Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, Greenville. You see so many because they paid so little.
Senators fall here tonight at home. The varsity earns the split as the girls walk away with a 67-49 win. The boys fall short in overtime, 56-52. But if we've learned anything from this 3-day stretch of 4 games, Coach, it's that sectional 62, whether you're talking about the girls or boys, is absolutely going to turn into a slobber knocker because you've got the top 2 teams in the girls' side of things who went at it toe-to-toe, punch for punch here pretty much on Thursday night, and that ended in fine fashion as far as a good ball game and seeing 2 Titans throw it down, even though Trinity Lutheran come out of there with the victory. And tonight, same thing, another good throwdown. Just come up a little bit short again on the boys' side of things, but we could see some dynamic matchups when the draw comes out for both of these clubs.
Absolutely, and that's we talked about it earlier, that the draw is going to be very important for both the boys and girls. I mean, obviously, you don't want to draw this team that we play tonight or Thursday night, the girls, you don't want to draw them right off the bat. You know, obviously, you want to see that as championships. And both games got a little bit chirpy. Players talking a little bit about, back and forth today definitely did. If we play this team in the sectional, there's definitely no love lost there, because the last minute or so of that overtime, there were guys jawing at each other, and that's what I said. And actually, me and Aaron Dennis were just talking as you were on the air that that's a taunting. That is definitely a personal foul in football. If you throw the football at somebody, I would assume that's a technical.
Yeah.
That's 2 shots in the ball back with 5.5 seconds to go.
I still go back
down
to
2. I mean, that is a huge play.
That is
and
absolutely.
That doesn't get called. Down here, the jump ball where the boy was bobbling it, and they give him a timeout. That's a huge call. I mean, Like I said, it sounds like sour grapes, but it's true. I mean, those are huge plays in the game, and they weren't decided by the players. They were decided by the officials. So.
It's not our job to critique the officiating, and we try not to do that, but I think you said it best. It's true. You know, it's just fact. There's been a couple of missed opportunities by these officials to make things right over the course of the last 24 hours or so, especially on the boys' side of things, and it just has not happened. A couple of big missed calls last night on the road at Perry Central, and then tonight a couple of missed calls in the late stages.
And a big stat. You know, last night, obviously, the free throws were big. Tonight, 2 of 16 from behind the arc. I mean, that's just, you know,
that three-point shot has evaporated for us.
Yeah, that's 13%. You know, I mean, 17 of 41 inside the arc is 42, where they shot 13 of 26 for 50%. So I mean, it's come down to, and I actually just looking at the stats and the metrics and stuff, and it's probably because a lot of these teams, especially the good teams, Paoli, Valley. You know, I mean, I know Perry only won 1, but they were a veteran club. These veteran clubs are shooting the ball better than we are.
Right.
I mean, and sometimes it comes down to that. I mean, it's simple, but you got to score points when you can. I mean, if you're getting a lot of layups and you're shooting 42%, and the other team's shooting 50, I mean, that's science. Maybe it's math, but
but
I mean, you're going to end up on the wrong side of the board. But you know, again, everything else, you know, no matter who we're playing, like I said, the good team, Paoli, Valley. We're out rebounding them. We're getting as many assists. We get more deflections. It's usually equal steals. But it all comes down to making smart decisions and shooting the basketball. Right now we're struggling. I was glad to see we were 9 or 11, but we didn't get to the free throw line in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one game where we're actually shooting free throws well that we don't get to the line.
Yeah.
Last night,
mind-boggling.
you know, there's some games where like we don't even want to go to the line when we're shooting 45%, 50% from the line. But you know, it's just it's a weird game. But I tell you what, this team will fight you. And like I said, if we draw this team, hopefully this is a championship game because it could get physical because those teams did not leave the court liking each other very well.
Absolutely not. And to your point earlier, and I know you live in the present. You don't live in the past. You don't look too far ahead to the future. But as I said earlier, we're doing this and we're fighting these older teams and putting up a big-time fight against veteran ball clubs with a young lineup. And what goes around comes around. And I'm telling you, folks, whether people across the county or in this area want to hear it or not, it's going to be lights out time in just a short amount of time for this group because they're going to take these lumps and they're going to remember them and they're learning from this.
Yeah.
They're learning. They're taking
everywhere
away.
we go, whether it's the other coaches, whether it's the ADs or just people in the crowd, man, you guys are going to be good in a couple of years. And they're right, we are going to be. But you know what? I know those kids up there in that locker room, and they don't care about 2 years from now. They want to win now.
Right.
And you can tell that's how hard they fight. They said they want to win this thing this year.
Right.
So
and they have an opportunity to.
No, you're right. I know exactly what you're saying because we hear it everywhere we go. You guys are going to be really good. Yeah, we are. Because, I mean, I tell you what, but these guys compete so hard, and they're not going to wait. They're going to come at you. If we start hitting shots, watch out.
Yeah. We want to go ahead and run down the team statistics while Coach finishes up with Josh Lewis.
We mentioned a couple. We were 13 of 26. We were 17 of 41, I'm sorry, from inside the arc for 42%. Dreaded 2 for 16 from behind the arc, 13% for a total of 33%. You know, you add that to, like I said, they went 50% from inside the arc, 37 from behind for 44. I mean, we just talked about it. That's a big difference. That's an 11% difference. But, you know, fortunately, they didn't hit free throws. They went 9 of 19, something like that, under 50. They had the struggles like we've had. But rebounding-wise, we led the rebounding war, 28-24 with 7 offensive, held them to only 2 offensive. An athletic team like that to just 2 offensive boards was really good. Leading us in rebounds, Holden Bousman, Mikey Nichols, and Harrison Sanford all had 6 rebounds. So, yeah, Coach Bousman just gave me the what? That's usually Holden's not crashing the boards like that, but that was good to see him get involved on the boards. And Mikey's always active on the boards as well as Harrison. So they all three had 6 assists, leading us with Holden had 6 assists. Caden Abels came off the bench, had 4 assists. Holden had 5 steals tonight. Parker Green had 2. And Holden again had 6 deflections. Caden had a couple. So, you know, Holden had a really good night other than shooting the ball. He kind of struggled shooting the ball, but everywhere else, and that's usually a given, he's going to fill up the stat sheet. And like I said, we talked about it before, but other than a couple stretches early, Caden Abels had a nice job off the bench.
I really think this was probably all
Jake Strange
overall,
off the bench as well.
Both of them probably played their best game thus far. We'll let Coach Smith settle in here with the headset and get his analysis of this overtime thriller here tonight. Senators fall again, 56-52 is the final, and Coach Smith, the great teacher that he is on the practice floor, I'm sure will use this as another golden learning opportunity for his young ball club, as they will have some time to prepare after a busy weekend to prepare for Coach Michael Leetzman's Blackhawks, who'll come in here next Friday night for a conference showdown. Coach, not necessarily the win-loss results that you were looking for, a couple of winnable games certainly, and you were in both of these ball games, but as I said before you put on the headset, and I know you're going to be modest about this, being the very good teacher you are on the practice floor, and I've watched you, instruct these guys and instruct your teams in the past. I know that you'll be able to take a lot from this weekend and turning them into some valuable learning experiences heading down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There are 2 games that we could have won. At this point, we're definitely learning how to compete at this level, I think. Now the next step is to learn how to win at this level, and there's just little things. Tonight, make one more play, and in regulation we win the game. There was some layups that got away. There was, we needed a finish. There was, a couple bad decisions at various points where we had them in some, especially in the second quarter, we had them in some foul trouble, and then the bonus, and we settled for jump shots and fadeaways when we needed to take it to them and attack. There's just a lot of little things. I mean, we did a lot of things well too, and I don't want to be all negative, but it's just you're trying to figure out how to come up with one more possession in tonight's game, last night, and win another, maybe 2 possessions and you win, and it's just got to pay attention to those details, and we're just we're getting there, but we're just not quite there yet, and but I think this is good going into the tournament, as far as down the road, as far as preparing for the tournament, that I think we've showed ourselves that we can compete with this team, and right now they're probably certainly the front running team, are the favorite going into the sectional with their record and just some of the wins they have and stuff. But in their junior, that what they did is that, when they had to, they stepped up and made some plays.
Right.
They had some kids that showed their veteran prowess, I guess, and stepped up and made some plays when it was nitty gritty time. And we had some guys try to do that, and at times did do that, but we have to get a little better at executing, and when we have opportunities, we got to seize them. And there's a few here and there that just got away, and it's got to be a good learning experience for us, and we need to learn from it and move on.
We talked about it in the pregame a little bit, Coach. A guy like Nick Mars, after that extremely long layoff, and of course he didn't play in the Valley Tourney with some illness, he comes up with double-digit scoring again tonight. So he's been pretty solid for you this weekend in his return to the lineup. I thought Harrison was pretty solid at both ends at times tonight. Took a little bit of a shiner to the eye there late in the ball game, but it was kind of scoring by committee this weekend. Parker has the career night last night with 18 points. You get pretty good balance here this evening, but a couple of unsung heroes that I think really kept you in this, and hopefully you'll agree here with Coach Gibson and myself. I think Caden Abels and Jake Strange probably had their best 2 games of the season combined tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what I just told Josh Lewis. I thought Caden in the second half really stepped up and played a lot more assertive, and stepped up and hit a couple shots for us, and
was engaged and really, like I said, just being more assertive with things. And I thought he played really well. And then Jake, he took another charge and he came up with some rebounds. And he had a couple, big baskets there where he was being aggressive in the second half too. So, he showed, both of those guys showed what they're capable of doing. If they're locked in mentally and like I said, that key word we keep saying is being assertive. They're engaged and assertive, and that's the thing. Not back on our heels and being aggressive and not being afraid to make mistakes or get blocked. I think sometimes we've got guys that worry about getting blocked, and who cares if you get blocked?
Right.
Most of the time you get the ball back if you do. Very seldom a block happens that the other team gets every once in a while, but a lot of times it goes out of bounds or, they call a foul or you end up being in position to get the rebound and you can't play scared like that. You can't be afraid of getting crossed up or getting blocked or get somebody, banging a shot in your face or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares? But sometimes I think we got guys that worry about that stuff a little bit still, and that's part of the maturation process of learning to just not worry about stuff like that and worry about going out and stepping up and making plays. And I think they're coming along a little bit. So I mean, we're right there. We just gotta learn from it, and we gotta step up and make some more plays. We got to get better.
Just a final point, Coach. Sometimes we forget that a lot of your guys playing the bulk of the varsity minutes also get at least one quarter of JV action a night. And tonight they pick up another solid win over the JV team for Edinburgh. That's now 2-0 for Coach Sullivan on the JV level. So just talk about how some of these guys have progressed and used that time at the JV level to make themselves better for varsity play.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Coach Sullivan's loving that. But I mean, you get 5 quarters a night, and with having a lot of young, inexperienced kids,
why not?
Why not? Why not use that 5th quarter? And early, I think may have kind of been a little weird for everyone, but the guys have really come along, and I think they like that. They get out there and they get a quarter in, and they kind of get a feel for what the other team does anyways. I mean, a lot of times JV teams run the same stuff, so they get a quarter of seeing, maybe not quite to the degree, obviously, of the varsity level, but seeing some of the stuff that the those JV teams do, or the opponent does, and also they get out there and get a little confidence, knock some shots down. I mean, it's a good little tune-up going in. I don't know, I don't think we'll do that all the way to the end, but I think we'll probably continue to do that here through January, and then in February, we'll probably just go to the more traditional format with, our varsity guys and playing their 4 quarters a night, and JV guys playing their 4 quarters. But why not? I mean, if you think about it, I don't know how many games we played here.
This was 12.
So other than the Valley tournament, where there wasn't a JV, so that's 9 games. So basically, all those guys have gotten two games extra already under their belt, plus another quarter, and then they get 3 more. They'll have 3 extra games under their belt, and that's, we looked at it like, how can we, increase, what ways can we speed up the
maturation process?
Maturation process. Get guys experience running stuff and get them reps, and why not? So, so I don't know. It's a little unorthodox, and the first game of the year, some guy asked me.
But I think it's starting to pay dividends.
Yeah, I agree. First game of the year, I had a guy at the top of the steps say, "All right, so explain this to me. The varsity team plays JV, and then they all
start
come
JV
in
and start
come in and play varsity." I was like, "Well, there's 5 quarters. Why not?"
Sure.
So that's just how we decided to attack the season and do that. And I mean, every team's different, but in our situation, we thought that was the best route. And I think you're right. I think guys are starting to get a little more confidence in what we're trying to do, and hopefully they'll continue to to progress from it.
Coach, a great effort here tonight. Although you fall short, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you prior to the tip here Friday night against the Blackhawks.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Smith joins us here on our Ace Hardware Salem post-game show wrap-up from the Ron Smith Court. We'll step aside, get our final break-in of the night. Hear from Ace Hardware. Come back. We'll name our player of the night or players of the night and put a bow on this one. Senators fall in overtime to Edinburgh. Back in just a moment.
have 5 kids, and somehow their hands and feet are always on the wall. So I went to Molly and Ace. I told Sharon when it comes to durable paint, you can't do better than Valspar Optimus.
Ace is the place that knows a lot about paint, but not why kids drag their hands on walls when they walk.
Before your next project, talk to your local paint experts, Eva Marie and Erica at Ace Hardware of Salem, about our top-rated interior and exterior paints.
For the final time here at the Ron Smith Court. Senators fall 56-52 in overtime. Time to name our Ace Hardware players of the night, and that's going to go to a dual threat, the inside-outside presence of Holden Bousman and Nick Mars, both pretty solid on the weekend. Holden 9 points on the night, as well as 6 assists and 5 steals, if I read Coach Gibson's stat sheet correctly. Nick chips in 10 points, a solid weekend for him upon his return again. Before last night, he had not played since December 16th in that loss in overtime to Borden in the holiday tourney. So glad to have Nick back and healthy. Hopefully we get Cam back after a weekend's worth of rest with the flu or cold, whatever he has that people's been passing around here at school. But Nick pulls down a couple of rebounds tonight, has a block shot or 2, 10 points on the night. So our Ace Hardware players of the game, Holden Bousman and Nick Mars. Coach, a final thought?
Well, I mean, after this whirlwind, 3 days, 4 games, in 3 days, it has been a wild ride. But I think we found some things out. Obviously we knew Trinity Lutheran was going to be good Thursday, and that it's them and us. Obviously anybody can be upset if you're not shooting well and you do some silly things. But those, according to Sagarin ratings, those are the top 2 teams in the girls sectional, and it was basically a 1-possession game with a minute to go. So that could be a barn burner again in the sectional. And then tonight, I think we found out actually Sagarin had these guys like 11 points higher than us. But I think we saw tonight that our kids aren't afraid. And Coach Smith just said we didn't show anything special tonight.
No.
If we needed to do in the sectional, we still have that.
You always save back a few
wrinkles.
Yeah,
we have that in our back pocket. And, obviously you can't count on them going 9 for 19 from the free throw line at home. But, I think we showed that, as long as we keep improving, that we have a shot at the boys sectional too.
Right. And I think, I don't have the old crystal ball in front of me, but if I was a betting person, I would say that we're going to be treated to 2 outstanding ball games again next Thursday and Friday. The girls will be back home after a trip to Rock Creek on Monday night. And I'm not sure if that'll be covered on live stream. It will not. So no coverage at all of the girls on Monday night with their road trip to Rock Creek. But we will be back here on Thursday night as they'll take on Crawford in a pivotal matchup. And they'll try to go 5-0 with 1 game remaining after that, which would be Paoli at home as well. So golden opportunity with the girls, 4-0. Last 2 conference games at home, chance to win it outright with a perfect 6-0 mark. And then the boys side of things, Valley comes to town. We took a lump on the noggin from them in the holiday tourney. They got out to the big lead with that trap, and I'm sure Michael Leitzman will try to do the same early on Friday night. But another opportunity to see 2 good ball games. And
it'd be nice, Coach, was it last night? I think when you gave the pregame interview, he was talking about being full strength. I mean, are we? With Cam being out, Cam was kind of a last-minute scratch the last 2 nights. We were thinking we were going to be full strength. So maybe, hopefully, if we can be full strength next Friday, and you're looking for improvement, obviously. So when we look back, I'm sure that'll be some points of emphasis when we do our pregame and stuff on Friday. Is what are we looking to improve on from the last time we saw that team? And obviously, not turning the ball over against that trap, rebounding it a little bit better at times, and I'm anxious to see us at full strength too, because we haven't been for very many games.
First 3 games we were full strength, and since then we have not had a complete roster. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Senator Nation, we can have everybody healthy when the Blackhawks come to town on Friday. But as programming reminders, we will have the girls game against Crawford, a key PLAC matchup. That game scheduled for a JV tip at 6, girls to go somewhere around 7:30 or so. Our broadcast coverage will begin shortly after 7, around 7:05, 7:10, somewhere in that area on the 1220 dial, and then we'll be right back here again on Friday night as Springs Valley boys come to town for another PLAC matchup, this time on the boys' side, again, somewhere on the air around 7:10 or so with our Senator Tip-Off pregame show. Coach, enjoy the rest of this week, and we'll see you next Thursday.
All right, thank you.
Here tonight, the Senators get one player in double figures, but not enough, as the Lancers get 3 guys in double figures, and they pull away for the win in overtime. As always, we thank you, the fans, for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220, as we brought you both the girls and boys in a rare double-header feature here this evening on the home floor. And we want to give a shout-out as well to the sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator and Lady Senator Basketball possible. One more time tonight, John Jones GM City, our pregame sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors bringing you the halftime report, and Ace Hardware of Salem bringing you all of this post-game show coverage, as well as McDonald's on South Main Street, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and Brady Bishop and Channel Seeds. Without their generous support, we would not be able to do the job we love. Each night the Senators are in action, so please be sure to let those sponsors know how much they are truly appreciated. 4 games in 3 days. That's 16 quarters of basketball. That's 128 minutes plus an extra 4 on the bonus side tonight. 132 minutes of basketball, a lot even for a basketball connoisseur like myself. So we're going to try to take some time off, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and get rested up for 2 exciting games next Thursday and Friday night. For our studio engineer and producer back at the station, Miss Becky White, stay warm the rest of the weekend, and stay tuned to WSLM for any updates if we should have inclement weather, which they're expecting to roll in sometime tomorrow evening. Thank you to her, as well as to my sidekick and broadcast partner on this mini marathon weekend, Mark Gibson. A great job as always. And to Craig Akers, our live stream video feed operator here this evening. This is Misty Jones saying so long and good night from the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium. Senators fall 56-52 in overtime. Girls win at 67 to 49 in the opener here tonight. Until next Thursday, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good night, everybody.